Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Wade. This is Aiden. We're going to do our Week 2 NFL picks here for the 2021 season. We are going to start with the early games first. Then we will dive into the later Sunday afternoon games, finishing up with both the Sunday night game between the Chiefs and the Ravens, and then finally the Monday night game. The first game is between the Bengals and the Bears. The Bengals are at the Bears, and the Bears are a 1.5-point favorite.
When the Bears went against the Rams, it was about what I predicted. The Bengals will win over the Bears.
Aiden's going with the Bengals, and do you have a score in mind?
I'd say it'd be really close. 30-27.
30-27.
Yep.
Bengals win. Okay. So I am a little torn on this one because I agree with you and think the Bengals are playing better for sure. Although the Bears had a much tougher matchup, and they may make a quarterback change in the middle of this game. And so I actually think I'm actually going to pick the Bears in this one because I don't think the Bengals are going to have as easy of a time up against the Bears as they did the Vikings. So I'm going to go with the Bears in this game, and I think they'll cover the spread. And I'm going to go with 24-20, covering the spread. All right. Next game up is the Texans Browns. Browns are a 13.5-point favorite at home. I will kick us off with this pick, and I'm actually going to. Well, I'm going to pick the Browns to win the game, but I am going to pick the Texans to cover the spread. 13.5 points is a lot of points. I don't care how good one team looks. And honestly, the Texans kind of shocked everyone. I think they played pretty well. Now, granted, they're playing against Jacksonville, but I don't know. 13.5 points is a lot of points to cover. So this early in the year, without having more information, I think the safer choice is picking the Texans to cover the 13.5 points. And as for a score, I will go with, I'm going to go with 31-24. And that would be the Browns. So, Aiden, what do you think?
I think the Browns will win this one. I mean, that's a pretty easy choice. But I think for against the spread, I actually do think the Browns will cover that. Okay,
so this is your... Yeah, in any of these games, you think you have an idea on the spread, go ahead and throw it on guess. So.
It's going to be right next to your pick. I'm going to go with, say, 31-20.
31-20, okay. So, we both have the Browns winning, but the Texans winning against the spread.
Wait, that's not against the spread. Yeah, that's how it would go. Yep.
You think the Browns are going to cover the 13.5, or you think the Texans?
No, the Texans are going to.
Okay, there you go. All right, so next game up on the list is the Rams, which are 3.5-point favorites at Indianapolis, playing the Colts. The Rams looked real good in that first game. Colts, Wentz looked all right, although I don't really particularly trust him too much as a starting quarterback. Yeah. But he did look all right in that first week. So who do you got in this game?
I think I got the Rams. Both defenses are probably top 10. But, yeah, I'd probably go with the Rams, and I'd have Rams cover the spread. Okay. I'll go with 34 to... I'll go 24.
All right, so I pretty much agree with you and think the Rams are going to win the game. I also think the Rams are going to cover. I don't know that it's going to be as high scoring, though, so I'm going to go with 27, and I'm going to go with 24. 21. So I think, and the Colts might actually not even score 21 points, to be honest, in the game. But either way, I think they will cover the spread. Okay, next game up is the Bills, 3.5-point favorites at Miami, playing the Dolphins. The Dolphins tend to play other teams pretty tough, but they've seemed to, Bills and Josh Allen seem to have the Dolphins' number as of late. So the Bills did not look very impressive in week 1. The Dolphins looked, okay, but I think it's going to be a big bounce back game for the Bills and Josh Allen, who, again, I'm not a particular fan of, but I personally am going to go with the Bills to win this game, and I think the Bills are going to cover the spread because I think they're going to win by 6 because I'm going with a 27 back-to-back games, 27-21.
I'll probably go with the Bills, too. I think they'll bounce back against the Dolphins. I just don't think the Dolphins have a great QB, so not their guy. But I'll go Bills winning and Bills covering the spread, and I'll have it going 21-17.
Next up is the Patriots. They are traveling to New York to play the Jets, but they are 6-point favorites. Another weird, unusual game. The Patriots really had that game in hand. A late turnover in the red zone cost them that game. So both teams looking to try to get their first win of the season. Matt Jones looked really good for New England at that game 1. What do you think about this game?
I'll have to say the Patriots will win. I actually think it'll be they'll barely cover the spread. And I'll have it going 28-20.
I agree with you across the board. I'm going to go with Patriots to win this game, Patriots to cover the spread, and I actually think they're going to win by 10, so I'm going to go with 27-17. Next up is the 49ers. They are traveling to Philadelphia to play the Eagles, and the 49ers are 3-point favorites again. It's kind of interesting in this, if you look down this list of games, there's a lot of home dogs in this game. So a lot of the traveling teams are actually favored in most of these games, which is kind of unusual. That means that the Vegas really thinks that the teams that are traveling really do have an advantage in these games. Otherwise, normally you don't see it so one-sided. But for the 49ers, 3-point favorites to the Eagles. Who do you got?
I think I got the 49ers. This should be a really close game. I'll have the 49ers covering. I'll probably have the score, another high-scoring game probably. I'll have it going 38 to, let's say, 31.
All right. I also have the 49ers winning this game. I also have the 49ers covering a spread of 3, and I'm going to go with a 31-24 victory. This is actually one of my matchups I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Me too.
I guess there's a couple reasons why, but it's the Raiders going to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers. The Steelers are at home. They are 6-point favorites. They did win that first game, albeit it was really because of a blocked punt and a touchdown. The defense looked stout as always, but they did struggle to move the ball on offense. And then the Raiders kind of looked the opposite. They played a kind of beaten up Baltimore Ravens team. Defense looked really good. The offense scored the most points in the week 1 of the NFL season. I don't think either one of those teams is really necessarily how they looked in week 1, specifically the Raiders. But that being said, I think the Raiders just look better and look like they can actually win this game. So I am definitely picking the Raiders to cover the spread here. I don't see them losing to the Steelers by 6 or more. So I'm going to go with the Raiders against the spread. But I'm also taking the Raiders straight up in this game. I know it's an upset and a 6-point dog. I feel like Vegas knows something here that I'm just forgetting about or missing. But I don't know how well Pittsburgh's going to be able to run the ball. They do struggle to throw the ball. The Raiders defense did get a lot of pressure in week 1 against the Ravens. I don't know how much you can take away from that in 1 week. But I do think the Raiders are going to play pretty well in this game, or at least enough to win the game. So I'm picking them straight up and against the spread. But I don't think it's going to be incredibly high scoring. I think the Raiders are going to end up winning this game by scoring 24. But I think the Steelers are only going to score 13. I think it's kind of an easy win for the Raiders.
Okay, I'm going to have the Steelers win. I think the Raiders will...
Oh, sorry. I meant 20, not 24, by the way. Okay, 20-13 Raiders. So, go ahead.
So I think the Steelers will win this game. Their defense is incredible. I'll actually have the Raiders going against the spread. I'll actually have this a really low game. I'll have it going like 16-13.
All right. So I like your pick there. I think yours is probably going to be the most common choice among all bettors, which is that the Steelers are going to win the game, but the Raiders will cover the spread. Low-scoring game makes a lot of sense too. I just have this weird sneaky suspicion that the Raiders are going to get off to a really good start here. They tend to always start the season strong, and I think they're going to take them down, but we will see. All right, the next up for the early afternoon games is the Saints, which are 3-point favorites at the Panthers. I'll let you go ahead and start this one.
Saints, that's pretty much an easy choice for me. Winston looked amazing. I'm going to have them covering the spread because if they can beat the Packers 40-something-3, then I think they can beat the Panthers, who almost lost to the Jets. I'll have this game going 42-21.
All right. Well, I mostly agree with you. The Saints did look really, really good, although I don't know how much you can read into what's going on with the Packers right now. I do think the Packers should be a better team than the Panthers, but I think the Panthers are all right. But I just think that the Saints' defense is too good. Winston's looking good, and there's no reason to not think he's going to be able to continue playing at a high level, at least for now. So I'm going to ride with that as well. Although I am kind of intrigued by the Panthers, especially with their new digital Panther they have in the stadium.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That was really cool. Mm-hmm. So as long as that doesn't come down and play, I think the Saints are going to cover this. Although I don't know that they can keep up the level of explosiveness we've seen lately from them. But I do think they're going to cover the spread as well. I'm also going to go with another 30-point game. And then I think the Panthers are going to struggle to do a whole lot here. So I'm going to go with 17, and that might be high on the high end. Okay, last
12 o'clock?
Yeah, last game of the early afternoon games. 12 o'clock for us here in the Midwest. But it is Broncos, 6-point favorites, traveling to Jacksonville to play the Jaguars. What do you got in this game? It's another interesting matchup.
Yeah, I actually think the Jaguars will probably take the lead at first, maybe by like 10. Broncos will make a comeback. So I have the Broncos winning, and I have the Broncos covering the spread, and I'd have the game going 27-17.
27-17, Broncos against the spread and straight up. I agree on both. I think the Broncos are obviously the better team. They've got a pretty good defense. I think they are going to give some fits there to the Jaguars offense. I do think the Jaguars are going to struggle to move the ball. They'll put up some points still, but I don't know that they're going to be able to hold on to really make this much of a game. So I'm going to also go with the Broncos to win straight up and against the spread. And I'm going to go with Broncos. I actually like your score quite a bit. So I'm also going to go with 27-17. Same score. Let's kick off the afternoon games. And the first one up is Vikings. Minnesota traveling to Arizona to play the Cardinals. The Cardinals are a 3.5-point favorite at home. And I'll start us off with this one. I am shocked that line is not higher than that.
I know. That's crazy to me.
The Cardinals are always a hard team to figure out because sometimes they look good and other times you're like, what are you doing? So because it's so early in the season, I don't know how much you can trust the results from week one. But the Vikings just got beat in week one. They did not look good against the Bengals. The Cardinals, Chandler Jones had 5.
I know.
Not many people lead the league in sacks or might wrap up the season-ending sack lead by like week 4 of the season. He's off to a really good start. I think he's really going to cause problems defensively for the Vikings. But not only that, I don't know how well the Vikings are going to be able to stop the Cardinals' offense. So for me, this is an easy one. I'm going to go with Cardinals, both against the spread and straight up. And I think it's going to be kind of a shellacking. So I'm going to go with 31-13.
Okay. Cardinals are definitely going to win this one. I think they're going to cover the spread easily. Kyler Murray against the Titans looked amazing. MVP. Sorry, what was that? It's kind of weird. I'll have it going 34-10. Vikings O-line. Thought that it would have been better. Nope.
Okay, Falcons and Bucks. Bucks are 12.5-point favorite at home. Falcons look like a disaster in week one. I think people thought they were going to be better and put up a fight a little bit this year. Mm-hmm. They look worse. But I'll let you start off these picks.
Okay, Falcons defense looks the exact same. Absolutely terrible. But in the game against what team was it? The Eagles. First 2 drives, they scored 2 field goals. I thought they would score more. Nope, it stopped right there. I'll have the Bucks going 42-10. So I'll have them covering the spread.
I agree once again. The Falcons looked miserable, and I think the Bucks are going to be a little teed off because they think that they didn't play all that great against the Cowboys. Ended up getting a win, but they were trying hard to give that game away. I think they're going to play better defense against the Falcons. Falcons don't have the offense that Dallas has. And I think they're going to keep rolling along on offense. So I imagine the Bucs are going to win this game pretty easily too, and I think they're going to make it intentional. Like they're going to make this a concerted effort to score points and rack it up. I'm going to go with the Bucs to win the game, and I'm going to go with a score of 34-13. All right, Cowboys and Chargers. Chargers are a 3-point favorite at home versus the Cowboys, which really means, because you generally get 3 points just for being at home, which really means Vegas thinks this is basically a coin flip game. What do you think?
I actually think the Cowboys will win this game. I think Dak Prescott, top 5 QB maybe this year. I just don't think the Chargers can stop the Cowboys offense. Cowboys defense isn't that good. Still, I'll have them covering the spread. This is probably my second favorite game of the week, other than Chiefs, of course. I'll have the game going, say, 35-17.
So you think they're going to get the butts whooped?
Yep.
Okay. Well, once again, I think we kind of agree. I think the Chargers are up and coming. If this game was later in the season, I would probably pick the Chargers because
Justin Herbert.
they have, Justin Herbert's going to keep moving along. The line by the Cowboys would just kind of get softer and weaker and more worn out as the season goes on. And the Chargers got a lot of new pieces on their team that will have more time to kind of jive together. And so if this was a later game, I'd probably pick the Chargers, but I don't know that the Chargers are going to be able to hold Dak and the Cowboys offense down too much. It is going to be a high-scoring game, I think. But I am also going to pick the Cowboys in this game, and I'm going to pick the Cowboys to cover the spread, and I'm going to go with 31-30. Real close game. Game up is the Titans versus the Seahawks. Seahawks are at home, 6.5-point favorites. So I think a lot of people might look at that and say that's probably not a big enough line because the Seahawks looked ridiculously good in the first week. Titans looked really, really bad in the first week. But I think you got to be careful not to over-exaggerate or overreact to a week one result sometimes. I think the Seahawks might come back down to earth a little bit. And I think the Titans might play a little bit better. The trouble for the Titans is the Seahawks defense is playing good too. And if the Titans had trouble scoring in the last game, that's not a good sign here. So I am actually going to pick the Seahawks to win this game. And I do think that they will cover 6.5 points. But I don't know that it's going to be a huge blowout because I think the Titans are going to try to control the clock a little bit better than they did in the first game. But I still think the Seahawks are going to win fairly easily. So I'm going to go with 27-17.
I'm actually going to pick the Titans. I think they'll bounce back. Julio might actually show up this game. With A.J. Brown, probably the best wide receiver duo. Derrick Henry, probably the best running back, I think. I'll actually have them going against the spread. I'll have the game going 27-17, but the Titans winning.
Wow, okay. So we have pretty much exact opposites here.
Yeah.
All right, that'll be a fun one. Mm-hmm. All right, now let's go to our favorite game of the week. We are in Kansas City. Obviously, we are homers for the Kansas City Chiefs. That is our team. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite, traveling to Baltimore to play the Ravens. And, the Baltimore... Well, actually, you can go ahead and start this one off.
Okay. Chiefs are going to win it. I just don't think I can ever bet against the Chiefs. But I'll have them covering the spread. I'll have the game going, I think the offense will even do better than last week. I think the defense might show up just a little bit more. I have a feeling that we're going to have trouble stopping Lamar Jackson on the run. But he can't.
It's pretty normal. Pretty normal.
Their wide receivers, terrible.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the game going 34-30, so just covering the spread.
Okay. All right. So, Chiefs and Ravens have a lot of history. Chiefs offense looked great in week one. Defense not so good. Of course, we had a couple major missing pieces. Our defensive end, Frank Clark, was out. Our lead safety and also defensive communicator and leader, Tyrann Mathieu, was out. They were noticeable differences. I also think it's going to take a little bit of time for the Chiefs to kind of get back into the defensive swing of things. They always start off soft on defense and improve as the year goes on. Ravens' offensive line is completely, they played horrible in week one. They got just destroyed, and now they also have another injury. So they're not in great shape on the offensive line. There are also a lot of injuries defensively. What?
They did not get destroyed.
The offensive line got destroyed.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah, they just pressure nonstop.
Yeah. I was like, huh?
So, yeah, the Ravens didn't look good in that game. I know they took it overtime, but they did not look good. They are not, in my opinion, near as much of a threat defensively or offensively to the Chiefs as the Browns were. The Browns are a tough matchup for the Chiefs. Just on paper and on the field, it's a tough matchup.
D-line is...
Yeah, I don't think any of the concerns that we had about the Browns, we have about the Ravens other than Jackson running the ball. Yeah. But in the history, Jackson's never beat Mahomes, even when he plays fairly well. We just seem to have their number. They have a bad defensive strategy against us. So unless they change that strategy, which they like to blitz, and if you continue to do that, Chiefs kind of own you. But if you don't do that, to try something else, then you're not playing your strength. So this is just always going to be a tough road for Baltimore and Jackson. One would think that eventually they're going to get a win. I just don't think it's going to be this time around. In fact, getting to my picks, I think the Chiefs are just going to completely smack them around in this one. I see the Chiefs winning and covering the spread, and I think the game is going to be 34-20. If memory serves me correctly, that seems like a score we've seen maybe last year with them. But I think the Chiefs are going to probably own them once again in this game. So Chiefs 34-30, Chiefs 34-20. I see him winning by a couple scores in this game, but who knows? It is early. The Chiefs have an entirely restructured offensive line. It's going to take some time to gel. So this game could be closer than that, but I still think they're going to kind of own this game. All right. Moving in to our last and final, which is the Monday night game, and it is Lions at the Packers. Packers are 11.5-point favorite. What do you think about that one?
Okay, so Aaron Rodgers. I don't even know what's going on with him right now. So they might actually keep Jordan Love in. I still have the Packers winning the game, but I'll have the Lions going against the spread because the Lions came back, almost beat the 49ers with an onside kick. So I'll probably say it'll be low scoring actually because Jordan Love still kind of starting out. I'll go 24-17.
So I agree with you pretty much overall. I think the Packers are going to play better because they can't play worse. The Lions, I don't think, are going to play as good as they did late in that game. A lot of that was kind of fluky. But I think they're a competitive team. I do think that the Packers will win the game. But I also agree that I think the Lions are going to cover. I don't know how you can make the Packers 11.5-point favorite the way they played week one. I just don't. I know they're going to bounce back and probably play better. But I see them winning by 7 or even 10. But even that's not covering. So I'm going to go with the Lions to cover the spread, but that means the Packers winning. I'm going to go with 24-17, which is a 7-point favorite. Actually, we just picked the exact same thing. So that is all of our picks for week 2. We will definitely come back and check out how we did here after these games. We might do Sunday nights after the games. Or we might wait till Monday when they're all over. But stay tuned. This is a brand new channel here, father and son channel here. So if you are interested and want to check us out in the future, be sure to subscribe, give us a video thumbs up, help us grow this channel, and we will see you next time. You have anything else to add?
Nope. Bye-bye. Kyler Murray MVP. What?
No. All right. See you.